Videos by YuGiOhSmurf. Be creative. Today we're going to be talking about power creep. So first, to talk about power creep, we should probably know what it is. Power creep is the idea that the next new thing is going to be stronger than the last thing. And this is to provide a shift in the meta or the standings, just to change pattern and winning. Because if something's not new and better, then why would you change? Sometimes this happens really drastically. Like what we saw with the Dragon Ruler format, demolishing everything else except for spellbooks, and those two decks just ran rampant for two formats, and I'm talking the old formats that were really long. But this can also be gradual, like what happened after spellbooks and Dragon Rulers, where Fire Fist, which were just a simple plussing mechanic, got taken over by another simple plussing mechanic like YuGiOh. YuGiOh just happened to do it better. Power creep is something that has been around in Yu-Gi-Oh! A long time, and other games as well, and it really always will be, and personally I think it always should be. The thing I like about power creep is the fact that you always get to see new cards that like do really crazy combos and absurd tactics, and just like you sit there and just kind of like, what the hell just happened? I think it keeps the game interesting, because seeing the same old things all the time gets boring, which is partially why I get annoyed with the meta, because after about 3 months it's like, okay, we know you're the best deck. Can we move on now, please? And sometimes it really just doesn't happen that way. Power creep also helps promote game growth and funding for Konami, which, by the way, we need if we want to keep playing Yu-Gi-Oh! The card game for years to come. Most people dislike power creep due to the fact that it makes decks change. It causes some decks that were once competitive no longer to be competitive, but it also does the reverse. Some decks that were before uncompetitive can now be competitive. And the fact that decks get them competitive, I understand why people get mad at power creep and don't generally like it, but again, I like to see the really absurd random combos and all the things that new cards can do and what Konami comes up with, because they're really inventive sometimes. However, there is something that I do dislike about the power creep, and that is its general unfairness. So we could make everything really strong, or we could do what Konami does and pick 2 or 3 archetypes and give them tons and tons of good support and variety and cards, some bad, some absurdly good, and just push them so hard that those are the only cards, only archetypes, only things that actually get new cards and support for. But when they do give old archetypes and old strategies new cards, they tend to be lackluster and honestly do nothing for the deck at all. They barely even change the standings of it or barely help it move along. And the reason why they didn't give them more broke cards is because they don't want a bunch of decks to be highly competitive. They just want those few meta decks to be competitive. And I'm not 100% sure why, and if you do know, go ahead, post it in the comments. How do you guys feel about power creep? Are there some things you like about it? Are there some things you dislike about it? Like with me? Go ahead and post those in the comments as well. If this video gets 10 likes or more, I will go ahead and make a video outlining some of the things I was talking about, my dislikes, like some of the unfair new archetype cards that are given to decks, but too little, too late, that don't do enough for the deck to actually make them competitive again. So make sure you like the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Subscribe if you deem me worthy. Have a wonderful day, guys.